Hi all, this is Dr. C.H. Madhusudan, Assistant Professor of Physics, Government Degree College, Siddipet. Welcome to my YouTube channel Edify, Extended Degree Physics. Today's class will discuss about Planck's theory of radiation, which is a part of quantum theory of radiation from the second semester thermal physics. This is my plan of talk. First, we'll have a brief review of black body spectrum. Then, we'll discuss about the failures of classical black body radiation laws proposed by Wien and Rayleigh Jeans. Then, we'll discuss about the proposals of quantum theory of radiation. Then, we'll discuss about Planck's law and we derive the Planck's law. Then we discuss about the derivation of Planck's law from Bose-Einstein statistics.
So what is a black body spectrum? Black body spectrum is a plot of radiation intensity, that is energy per unit area per unit time versus the wavelength. Okay, this is the black body spectrum drawn at 5000 Kelvin. You can see as the wavelength increases, the curve goes to a maximum value and then decreases. At some other temperature, the curve shape is same, okay, and for some other temperature again 2000 Kelvin, the curve again starts from a minimum value, goes to a maximum and then decreases. So this is the black body spectrum at various temperatures. Okay. Then what are the key points related to this graph? We already discussed. These are the key points. At each temperature, the intensity is not uniformly distributed. And you learned that at a particular wavelength, the intensity reaches a maximum value. The wavelength corresponding to this maximum energy is called lambda maximum. And we also learned that this lambda max into time, into temperature, lambda max into T is constant. This particular law, we call it as Wien's displacement law. Okay. And another important point is the area under each curve represents the total energy, and that total energy is proportional to fourth power of absolute temperature. We called it Stephen's law. So these are the key points related to black body spectrum.
Various scientists tried to explain the black body spectrum. That is, they tried to derive the formula for spectral energy density in terms of wavelength or frequency. Wien and Rayleigh Jeans were among them who put their ideas and proposed their radiation laws. Wien, based on the then existing classical ideas, proposed his radiation law, and he derived that energy density E lambda is equal to some constant by lambda power 5 into e to the power minus another constant by lambda t into d lambda. Based on Wien's law, he tried to explain the relation between energy density and lambda. The dotted line corresponds to Wien's law if we observe this, the Wien's curve is not matching with the experimental curve. Hence, Wien's law was a failure. Wien's law was able to explain the black body spectrum only at lower wavelengths, but it failed to explain the black body spectrum at higher wavelengths. After the failure of Wien's law, Rayleigh and Jean tried to explain black body spectrum but with a different idea. Rayleigh and Jean assumed that black body radiation consists of simple harmonic oscillators. With a theory, they derived the number of oscillators in a frequency range mu plus d mu, and multiplying the number of oscillators with the energy of each oscillator kT, they derived the formula for spectral energy density. The number of oscillators multiplied with energy of each oscillator, they got the formula for spectral energy density as U lambda d lambda is equal to 8 by kT by lambda power 4 into d lambda. If we observe the Rayleigh-Jean's curve, this dotted line is the Rayleigh-Jean's curve. It matches with the experimental curve only at longer wavelengths, but fails to match with it at shorter wavelengths. Therefore, even Rayleigh-Jean's law was a failure. If you observe the graph tends towards infinity at ultraviolet wavelength. Hence, this Rayleigh-Jean's law was also called as ultraviolet catastrophe. If we sum up, based on the classical ideas, Wien and Rayleigh-Jeans proposed their radiation laws. Both were failures. Wien was successful in explaining the curve at lower wavelengths but failed at longer wavelengths. Rayleigh-Jean's law successfully explains the experimental curve at longer wavelengths but fails at shorter wavelengths. Then Max Planck came with a revolutionary idea to explain the then unresolved puzzles in his days: the photoelectric effect and the black body radiation. According to Max Planck, energy is not continuous as proposed in classical physics, but according to him, energy is discrete and it is propagated in the form of energy packets called quantas. And according to him, energy exchange between matter and radiation is E is equal to NH mu, where N is the integer, H is the Planck's constant, and mu is the frequency of radiation. For his revolutionary idea, Max Planck was awarded with the Nobel Prize in 1980. Before we derive the Planck's radiation law, let us see the postulates. A black body consists of simple harmonic oscillators or resonators, and these resonators vibrate with all possible frequencies with 1 degree of freedom. and the exchange of energy between radiation and matter takes place only in the form of integer multiples of quantas. Before we derive Planck's law, let us have a knowledge of a few mathematical tools. In your lower classes, you learned averaging of a data. Average of a data is equal to sum of the observations by number of observations. We also learned the weighted average. Suppose in a class, N1 students got X1 marks, N2 students got X2 marks, N3 students got X3 marks, and so on. The weighted average is given as N1 X1 plus N2 X2 plus etc. etc. by N1 plus N2 plus etc. etc. Let us also have some expansions of few series. 1 minus x4 minus 1 is equal to 1 plus x square plus so on. 1 minus x4 minus 2 is equal to 1 plus 2x plus 3x square plus so on. And e to the power of x is equal to 1 plus x by 1 factorial plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial and so on. Now, the basic strategy of derivation of Planck's law is the spectral energy density is equal to density of states into average energy of each oscillator. That is, E mu d mu is equal to G of mu d mu into E bar. Here, the density of states G of d mu are, this is the number of oscillators per unit value in a frequency range mu and mu plus d mu, is given by 8 pi mu square by c cube into d mu. This we derived while learning Rayleigh-Jean's law. And in this derivation, we derive the expression for average energy, and then we multiply the average energy with this density of states to give the spectral energy density. Now let us derive the formula for average energy of Planck's oscillators. Let us assume we have N0, N1, N2, etc. oscillators having energies epsilon, 2 epsilon, 3 epsilon and so on. According to Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, the number of oscillators having an energy epsilon is given by n naught into e to the power of minus epsilon by kt. First of all, based on this, let us try to get the expressions for total number of oscillators, and then we go for the average energy. Number of oscillators with zero energy is n0, number of oscillators with epsilon energy is n1, number of oscillators with 2 epsilon energy is n2, and they are given by n1 is n0 e to the power of minus epsilon by kt, n2 is equal to n0 e to the power of minus 2 epsilon by kt based on Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. Therefore, total number of oscillators n is equal to n0 plus n1 plus n2 plus so on. Substitute the values of n1 and n2 in this expression. You will get n is equal to n0 of 1 plus e to the power of minus epsilon by kt plus e to the power of minus 2 epsilon by kt plus so on. Assuming e to the power of minus epsilon by kt is equal to x, the above expression reduces to n is equal to n naught of 1 plus x square plus so on. The bracketed series is equal to 1 minus x power minus 1 or 1 by 1 minus x. Therefore, n is equal to n naught by 1 minus x. Now, total energy of Planck's oscillators is E is equal to n naught epsilon naught plus n1 epsilon 1 plus n2 epsilon 2 plus so on. That is E is equal to n naught into 0 plus n naught into e power minus epsilon by kt into epsilon. Here we substituted n1 n2 values based on Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution and epsilon 1 epsilon 2 from Planck's law. Therefore, the total energy E is equal to n naught e power minus epsilon by kt into epsilon plus n naught e power minus 2 epsilon by kt into 2 epsilon plus so on. If you take the terms common, we will get E is equal to n naught epsilon e to the power of minus epsilon by kt into 1 plus 2 e power minus epsilon by kt plus 3 e power minus 2 epsilon by kt plus so on. We assumed e power minus epsilon by kt as x. Therefore, this equation reduces to n naught epsilon x of 1 plus x plus 3x square plus so on. This bracketed term is equal to 1 minus x power minus 2 or 1 by 1 minus x whole square. Therefore, E is equal to n naught epsilon x by 1 minus x whole square. This is the total energy. Now, dividing the total energy with the total number of oscillators, we will get the average energy epsilon bar. So, epsilon bar is E by n. Substitute the values we got just now. Capital E is n naught epsilon x by 1 minus x power 2 by capital N value is n naught by 1 minus x. 1 minus x, 1 minus x, n naught gets cancelled. Epsilon bar average energy is epsilon into x by 1 minus x. Substituting these values x and epsilon, we will get epsilon bar is equal to h mu by e to the power of h mu by kt minus 1. This is the expression for average energy. Now, by multiplying the average energy with the density of states, that is the number of states with frequency mu and d mu, we will get the energy density, which is E mu d mu is equal to 8 pi h mu cube by c cube into 1 by e to the power of h mu by kt minus 1 into d mu. This is the product of density of states into epsilon average value, and this is the expression of Planck's law of radiation. This gives the energy in the range mu to mu plus d mu. Let us try to write the Planck's law in terms of wavelengths. We know that C is equal to mu lambda, the general wave equation. From this mu is equal to C by lambda, differentiating, we take d mu is equal to C by lambda square d lambda, the positive value. Then substituting this in the above expression, we will get E lambda d lambda is equal to 8 by hc by lambda power 5 into 1 by e to the power of hc by lambda kt minus 1 into d lambda. This is the Planck's law in terms of wavelength, that is the energy density in a wavelength range lambda and lambda plus d lambda. This Planck's law was able to explain the spectral curve at all wavelengths. Means this expression matches the experimental curve at longer wavelengths as well as shorter wavelengths, of course nearly at all wavelengths. Therefore, Planck's law was a successful one in establishing the relation between E lambda, D lambda and lambda at all wavelengths. Let us check its success by deriving the Wien's law and Rayleigh-Jean's law as a special cases from Planck's law. Let us derive Wien's law from Planck's law. Wien was able to explain the spectral curve at shorter wavelengths. Therefore, if we assume lambda to be small, hc by lambda kt is large value, and therefore e to the power of hc by lambda kt is a very large value. Therefore, in this expression we can neglect 1 in comparison to e to the power of hc by lambda kt. With this idea, this equation reduces to E lambda d lambda is 8 by hc by lambda power 5 into 1 by e to the power of hc by lambda kt into d lambda. This can be written as 8 by hc by lambda power 5 into e to the power of minus hc by lambda kt d lambda. This can be assumed as some constant by lambda power 5 into e to the power of minus some other constant by lambda t. This was exactly the Wien's law. We can derive Wien's law from Planck's law. That is Planck's law was able to explain the spectral curve at lower wavelengths. Now let us try to check the validity of Planck's law at longer wavelengths. When lambda is very large, hc by lambda kt is very less than 1, and in such case e to the power of hc by lambda kt according to the expansion e power x is 1 plus hc by lambda kt plus hc by lambda kt whole square by 2 factorial plus hc by lambda kt whole power 3 by 3 factorial, etc. But when hc by lambda kt is very less than 1, the x square x cube terms are neglected, and e power hc by lambda kt can be approximately equal to 1 plus hc by lambda kt. Now substituting this value in this equation, we will get E lambda d lambda is 8 by hc by lambda power 5 into 1 by 1 plus hc by lambda kt minus 1 into d lambda. This will result cancellation of few terms, and the final expression we will get is E lambda d lambda is equal to 8 by kt by lambda power 4 into d lambda. This is the exact equation of Rayleigh-Jean's law. Means Planck's law was able to explain the spectral curve at longer wavelengths, or Planck's law matches with Rayleigh-Jean's law at higher wavelengths. Therefore, Planck's law was a success both at shorter wavelengths and longer wavelengths. This is the derivation related to Planck's law, assuming the radiation to consist of simple harmonic oscillators, and the revolutionary idea that energy is not continuous but it is quantized. In the next session, we will discuss about the derivation of Planck's law from Bose-Einstein statistical distribution. Applications of Bose-Einstein statistics, photon gas. Okay. We go to the black body which we defined at the beginning of this chapter. What is a black body? Which absorb all the radiation incident on it. After learning black body, we discussed about black body radiation spectrum. This is the spectrum of black body. So various scientists tried to explain the spectrum, and we learned three theorems. One is Wien's law, the other one is Rayleigh-Jean's law, and the successful one was Planck's law. We derived Planck's law using the harmonic oscillators idea. Then in this class, we try to apply the Bose-Einstein statistics we learned the last class. From that Bose-Einstein statistics, let us derive the Rayleigh-Jean's law here. Okay, so therefore, I will discuss few points and then go to the photon gas. The energy loss of a hot body is due to emission of electromagnetic waves from the body. The distribution of energy density over the wavelength spectrum does not depend on the nature of the body, but it depends on the temperature of the body. Electromagnetic radiation can be regarded as a photon gas. You know what is a gas? Gas consists of molecules which move randomly or freely throughout the gas. Similarly, electromagnetic radiation consists of photons. Therefore, we may regard electromagnetic radiation as a photon gas. Then, the problem with photons is the radiations emit photons, and one photon is absorbed by another photon. So therefore, the total number of photons is never a constant. Means its number does not remain as a constant because photons are absorbed by another photons. While studying all the three statistics, we wrote first two equations. We wrote that n is equal to constant, therefore dni is 0. Similarly, energy is constant, that's why we wrote summation epsilon I dni is equal to 0. But here the first condition is not satisfied because n is not constant. Therefore, if n is not constant, what happens is summation ni is equal to capital N doesn't valid here. Therefore, the constant or the Lagrange multiplier we multiplied there, alpha value becomes 0. Therefore, e to the power of minus alpha term becomes 1. Therefore, in the probability distribution function of Bose-Einstein statistics, Fi is equal to Ni by Ga is equal to, actually it was 1 by e to the power of alpha plus beta Ei minus 1. I told you beta value is 1 by Kt, but alpha value is 0 here. If you substitute those values, you will get Fi is equal to 1 by e to the power of epsilon I by Kt minus 1. This is the Bose-Einstein probability function for photon gas or electromagnetic radiation. Then using that value, we can derive the Rayleigh-Jeans. If the spectrum is taken continuous, we write all as functions. N of epsilon by G of epsilon is nothing but your function, which is equal to 1 by e to the power of epsilon by Kt minus 1. Here epsilon is the energy of the photon, which is h mu. Therefore, your n of epsilon by G of epsilon is equal to 1 by e to the power of h mu by Kt minus 1. Remember, G of mu d mu is the number of frequency states. This we derived while learning Rayleigh-Jeans law. If you remember, we considered n space and we derived the formula for G mu d mu as 4 pi V by C cube into mu square d mu. We multiplied with 2 for the two polarization states of electromagnetic radiation. That's why this multiplied with 2 will give you 8 pi V by C cube into mu square d mu. This is the number of states, or we called it density of states. I think you remember this value from the discussion of Rayleigh-Jean's law. Yes or no? Then total energy is equal to what? Number of frequency states into energy of each wave, h mu. But our number of frequency states is what? It is the product of two functions. One is g of mu d mu into f of mu. F of mu, just now you got 1 by h mu by 1 by e to the power of h mu by kt minus 1 into n of mu is equal to what? G of mu d mu. We substituted g of mu d mu into f of mu. We substituted f of mu value. G of mu is the number of states. Just now I explained its value is how much? 8 pi v by c cube into mu square d mu. So substitute all the values. N of mu is g of mu into f of mu. This is f of mu value. This is g of mu value into h mu, energy is multiplied. So you will get the energy, total energy formula in case of electromagnetic radiation as 8 pi v into h mu cube into d mu by c cube into e to the power of h mu by kt minus 1. If you remember, this is your Planck's radiation formula. So here you are getting the formula in a different way. In the last chapter, we derived the same in a different way. Okay. So therefore, you have to practice these two different answers. If the question is given based on Bose-Einstein statistics, you have to write this answer. If the question is based on oscillators or just derived the formula for Planck's radiation formula, means you have to write that answer you learned in the last chapter, which is quantum theory of radiation. Now, just now I told you this formula is Planck's radiation formula, which is suitable for all wavelengths. If you try to write this in terms of wavelengths, we use the general equation for wave mu is equal to c by lambda, differentiated both sides, d mu is equal to c is a constant, 1 by lambda differentiation is minus 1 by lambda square d lambda. We take positive value only, therefore d mu is equal to c by lambda square into d lambda. Substitute this mu and d mu in the last equation, this equation. Then 8 pi capital V h into mu cube means c by lambda whole cube into c by c cube into the function into d mu value c by lambda square d lambda. Substitute, you will get this formula. Simplification of that will give you capital U lambda d lambda is equal to 8 pi hc by lambda power 5 into 1 by e to the power of hc by lambda kt minus 1 into d lambda. Here U lambda is the total energy per unit wavelength. If I want the energy density, I have to divide the total energy with volume. This capital V gets cancelled and you will get 8 by hc by lambda power 5 into 1 by e to the power of hc by lambda kt minus 1 d lambda. This is nothing but your Planck's formula in terms of wavelength. So photon gas is nothing but electromagnetic radiation. Bose-Einstein statistics will give you the formula for the energy density of photon gas. So this is the end of this particular topic, which is application of Bose-Einstein statistics to photon gas or electromagnetic radiation.